Hello and welcome to another edition of Silver Halide Wanderings. For everybody who's watched so far, thanks very much. Again, thank you for the feedback. In this episode, we're going to move a little bit. There's a lot of information on YouTube, on forums, on blogs about lenses, and particularly about 50mm lenses. And I thought I might introduce you to my thoughts on one particular lens, and only one particular lens. It's the lens that I think is the culmination of everything that 50mm lenses should be. It's the Pentax 50mm f1.4, but particularly the version in the original K mount, the first version. So not the Takumar screw mount, thread mount version, or the later Pentax M&A versions, but the version that fell bang in the middle of the 70s when the first Pentax K cameras were launched. So let's take a look at that lens. So what is it about this lens that makes it so special, or so special to me? Well, as you know from earlier videos, I'm a bit enamored about Zeiss lenses, and this is possibly the best Zeiss lens never made by Zeiss. It follows on from the 8-element Takumar, which is often billed as the Planar killer. However, that was a lens that didn't last very long. It was only available for a single year, and this is the lens that replaced it. And it's not a planar. Neither of the lenses were a planar design. It's very, very much an Ultron design. This is a lens very, very much based on Tronia's Ultron layout, but it's what's called an extended Ultron. So where does that make this Zeiss-like? Well, by the time Pentax were making this lens, A.W. Tronia, Dr. Tronia, was already working with Zeiss. Zeiss had taken over Voigtlander, and a lot of the designs from Voigtlander came across to Zeiss at that time. By 1970, Pentax are collaborating with Zeiss, a collaboration that resulted in the K Mount bayonet, but ultimately didn't lead to Pentax developing a camera with Zeiss. However, a year later, Zeiss released a lens for the brand new Rollei SL35, a 50mm f1.4 that bears a striking resemblance to the layout, to the extended Ultron layout that Pentax had developed for the Takumar originally. And this is a stellar lens that eventually gains fame in the Contax mount and continues to this day. It is still the layout of the 50mm f1.4 lens that Zeiss still sell in various mounts. So what is it about this lens that makes it so special? Well, you can see the coloration, the coatings. It's an SMC lens. It is beautifully coated. That's part of the character of the lens. It renders wonderfully. And it's a lens that gives you low light opportunities. But it's not bell sharp at f1.4. Where it really comes into its own is around f8 and f11. It's a classic prime lens, a lens that was designed really to be used stop down. So it's very much a lens to put on and use all day long. It has beautiful tonality. It has wonderful contrast. It's a lens where you can extract deep shadows from. It's just a very, very nice lens to use. No, it's maybe not as sharp as the fabulous 50mm f1.2 Pentax in the corners at f1.4, but you stop it down to f8, f11, and it becomes a bell, a crystal-like lens. An optical feast that just makes you want to use it more and more. I don't use 50s a lot, but this is the 50 that I keep on going back to. This, and to be honest, a similar lens, the Rollei Zeiss 50 f1.8 is the other 50 that I tend to go back to. But they're both just very beautiful lenses. And of course, this has the benefit of being possibly the best Zeiss 50 never made by Zeiss. Just simply a wonderful lens and a joy to use. A fabulous 50 if ever there was one. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a little bit different again. I'm hoping that these videos are not going to be the same as the run-of-the-mill lens tests. And if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe as well. This is just done for fun and for my enjoyment. And thank you, and please look out for the next episode of Silver Halide Wanderings. Thanks a lot.